Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter Podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to a very special Monday edition of the Ringside Reporter Show. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib, and we have a great show for you today. And today, we're going to talk about, and this just kind of finally broke here. We're going to talk about Deontay Wilder. He finally broke his silence on why he lost the fight to Tyson Fury, and wow. He seems to blame everybody except Santa Claus on why he lost. Tons of excuses coming out of the Wilder camp. Wilder stated immediately after the fight in the ring that he lost the fight and he had no excuses. Beeb, you heard him say this, correct?
100%. Yes, I did.
And then proceeded to make excuses like it was his job. He said he had a bad training camp. He said there were things going on personally. Then he hurt his leg, blah, blah, blah. He did a couple of interviews today and said the following. This was interesting. This was I thought a very creative excuse, one that I've not heard maybe ever. His costume was too heavy. The costume that he wore to the ring, that little Power Ranger outfit he wore to the ring, or the Black Panther suit he was wearing, that was too heavy, Beeb. He said this, quote, "He didn't hurt me at all, but the simple fact is that my uniform was way too heavy for me." Wilder told this to Kevin Iole of Yahoo Sports. Quote, I didn't have no legs from the beginning of the fight. In the third round, my legs were just shot all the way through. But I'm a warrior, and people know that I'm a warrior. It could easily be told that I didn't have any legs or anything. A lot of people were telling me it looked like something was wrong with you. Something was, but when you're in the ring, you have to bluff a lot of things. I tried my best to do so. I knew I didn't have the legs because of my uniform. I was only able to put it on for the first time the night before, but I didn't think it was going to be that heavy. It weighed 40-some pounds. With the helmet and all the batteries. I wanted my tribute to be great for Black History Month. I wanted to be good, and I guess I put that before anything. Beeb, have you ever heard of anything like this? I mean, for real. I mean, for real. Listen, you said before, you don't like to kick a man while he's down or whatever. Listen, son, you're a moron. You're going to blame the costume. 40 pounds. You know how much 40 pounds? I got a 40-pound tool bag that I lug around each day. You're going to say 40 pounds? You're the heavyweight champion of the world, the baddest man on the planet. And 40 pounds distributed weight? It wasn't like you were carrying it. It was 40 pounds distributed. Son, you need to get taken out back and horsewhipped for that stupid excuse. Are you for real? Let me tell you something. If you're still a fan of this guy after that excuse, just wait till his other excuses. But if you're a fan, I was a Wilder fan. I really was. I like you, and you know this. I like Deontay Wilder. He's a sucker, man.
Whoa!
That's right.
Whoa!
He is a straight sucker, son. Straight up. Because for him to say something like that the costume cost him the fight. Not the fact that, he's not the best technical fighter out there. That cost him the fight. Not the fact that he was outpunched, outboxed, outlanded, outfought, outstruck. Nothing like that. The costume weakened my legs. Son, let me tell you what. If you're still a fan of this guy after this, I don't know what to tell you, man. You're a sad sack. All right? Because I don't ride with guys like that, man. No way.
You can say what you want about Anthony Joshua. To this
handled
day,
it with class, son.
To this
handled
day,
it with class.
To this day, he still hasn't come out and made any excuses for losing that first Ruiz fight.
And from what we heard, that he had a panic attack in that dressing room, that's coming from his dad. Well, that's coming from his father. That was legit. That may have been a legit thing, and you never heard it come out of his mouth. Never.
One thing we know is, his father was yelling at Eddie Hearn for something, but Joshua didn't really elaborate on it. He doesn't want anything to be brought up as an excuse for losing to Ruiz. He gave Ruiz credit. He didn't say anything else. He just said, I lost to the better man. And I think that's what should have been done on Saturday night because he lost to the better man.
Hey, Haplotype 0, you're a moron too. He said Eric's feeling himself. Joshua quit. Wilder went out swinging. Wilder did not go. Joshua didn't quit. The referee stopped the fight, you idiot. Go back and watch the fight and you tell me he quit. Better yet, you take a punch and then you tell me he quit. He sat there and got knocked down 3 or 4 times. How did he quit the fight? Listen, I'm not saying Wilder quit the fight either. But these nonsense excuses that he's given up, you know what I mean?
Has nothing
to do with it.
It has nothing to do about quitting and all that. It's about what you say after you lose. It's about what your reasoning is for losing at the end of the fight. And if you're going to tell somebody that you lost because you were wearing a 40-pound suit, I mean, I don't think anyone's going to buy that one. That's like some dog ate my homework type shit that no one's going to buy.
Right.
We got to be real about this, man. Let's take the emotion out of it and let's use a little bit of objectivity and let's use a little bit of logic. Go ahead, Eric. I'm just.
You know what's funny is that King Nello says he's acting like he went on a ruck march. It's funny. My friend, he goes on these ruck. I guess he calls it rucking, where he puts this. He carries like a 40-pound pack. Yeah. Like they do in the military. Like they do in the army.
I was just about to say I had a fucking hike like 30 miles with a fucking pack on my back.
Exactly.
And with work boots on.
Haplotype, you're still talking in the chat, man. You got something to say? What's up? I mean, seriously. He's talking a big game. Everybody talks a big game on chat. Shut your mouth, son. I'll talk to you any way I want to talk to you. That's bottom line. So what are your thoughts, Babe? I mean, when you read this,
I was disappointed in Wilder, man. I was disappointed.
You have to be disappointed in Wilder, right?
I don't want to hear this stuff come out of the heavyweight champion's mouth or the former heavyweight champion's mouth. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. That's horrible. It takes away from Tyson Fury's victory, and not only that, it takes away from the fight itself.
Yeah, I mean, well, whatchamacallit, I think Tommy Boxeo said it cost like $60,000. I read it cost like $40,000, or Tommy M said $60,000. Yeah, I heard it cost like $40,000 or something like that. And this is just, I mean, it's just silly, man.
And then the whole Mark Breland thing it's really bothering me.
Let's talk about that because that's the worst. I really believe that is the worst. So after all this nonsense, okay, he comes out and he says, all right, well, the costume was too heavy, this and that. But that's not why he lost. He lost because he has another conspiracy theory. And this quite possibly could be the dumbest thing that I may have heard. Although that first thing is really hard to trump, I'll be honest with you. It's really hard to trump. Let me read you. He talked to Boxing Scene today. This is what he said. That Mark Breland was influenced by Anthony Durrell, who's also trained by Sugar Hill, which is Tyson Fury's trainer, as we all know. He told Boxing Scene the following. But I was hurt way more in the first Louis Ortiz fight than in this situation. I still had my mind. I still knew what I was doing at certain times. I still know how to move around the ring. Well, he didn't have, he wasn't moving around the ring. He said, although I didn't have the legs, I knew how to move around the ring. I was 42-0, 10 consecutive title defenses. I know what I'm doing in there. It may look a certain type of way, but when you're talking about Deontay Wilder, I'm never out of a fight because of my tremendous power. We've seen that many times. I'm never out of a fight, and I'd rather go out on my shield and my sword than anything. By Breland knowing that, and then Jay, which is the head trainer, Jay told him not to do so. He still proceeded with it. It's kind of hurtful, man. It really makes you think about different things. I don't want to put negative thoughts in my head or have any kind of conspiracy theories going on, but it makes you think. Somebody like that, somebody that did not, something that's not up to him, somebody that did not something that's up, this is his quote, not mine. And even when they're instructed not to, they still proceed on. And then getting influenced by the opposite team. One of the guys that trained with the opposite trainer, it makes you think. He was influenced by Anthony Durrell. They said Anthony Durrell was in the back of him screaming, throw the towel in, we love our champ. And, Anthony works with Sugar as well, the opposite trainer, Tyson's trainer. Darrell works with him too. Breland said he didn't hear nothing, but everybody's saying the same thing. A lot of people that's around, a lot of people that was in my camp, and if everybody's hearing it, and if my people in the corner can hear him, Mark said he can't hear him, there's something wrong with that. It's a lot going on with Mark as well, but we're going to make a big decision by the time I come back from Africa, and we're going to go on from there. Wilder said he'll decide Breland's future with his team upon returning from a trip to Africa, which he's supposed to take in late March.
He's getting canned.
Of course, we all knew he was getting canned.
And you know what? If I'm Breland, I walk out of that camp at this point. After all this shit,
I don't even. Yeah, I'm done.
I walk out of this camp.
You did this guy a favor by throwing in that towel.
This is a former Olympian, a two-time world welterweight champion. This is a guy that went 110-1 as an amateur. You don't think he knows what the fuck he's doing? 110-1 as an amateur.
Go marinate on that.
He doesn't
Go
know
marinate on that.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
One of the best fighters in U.S. amateur history.
And he doesn't know what he's doing.
No, he doesn't know anything. That guy, Dr. Mofongo, says he was completely impaired. 100%. He was completely impaired.
Another fun fact about Mark Breland, he was in that movie, The Lords of Discipline, too.
You remember him? Yeah, he was the only guy. Yeah, he was the only black guy in there in that school or whatever. That's what he played.
Shout out to Mark Breland.
It was really good, man. You remember that movie? That movie was good.
Yeah.
Georgie said, dude saves his life and gets thrown under the bus completely. I'll say this again, man. If
Wilder had a look on his face during that fight that he had a look of a beaten man in there, and I don't question anyone's heart or desire or whatever, but he actually looked to me intimidated in there by Fury. I thought Fury did bully the bully.
I tell you, he clearly did. I mean, he clearly did. Now, I don't know if he was intimidated at the beginning of the fight, but I know once that first round ended, it wasn't the same. I mean,
he was intimidated after he was getting bullied around and thrown around.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, but Wilder lost the fight, and that's okay. Is there listen, man, there's no disgrace in losing at the highest level. But there's no disgrace in losing at the lowest level.
But this is my problem, and I've always said this about anything in life. When you're in denial about when something goes wrong, and you're in denial about why it went wrong, you can't fix it. You can't fix it because you're not identifying the problem. You're blaming everyone else, and you're not taking ownership of the loss. And this is the same thing Andrew Ruiz did that turned everybody off. And if you're going into a third fight with this guy, and you're gonna try to win this fight, and you think the only reason why you lost this fight was because of suit, then you're not gonna correct the mistakes that you made in this rematch.
No,
you're not gonna correct the mistakes because you're blaming all of your shortcomings on a suit.
Everybody else's problem. You know who used to do this too is De La Hoya. De La Hoya used to do this too, where he blamed everybody around him. He blamed his trainer. Then he had somebody else fire his trainer because he didn't want to do it. I mean, he used to do this stuff all the time. But he would blame everybody else. Dude, you lost. And you didn't it wasn't like a close fight. I mean, listen, man, it's in theory, really, you could have won 2 or 3 rounds over the period of 19 rounds against this guy. Think about that.
Yeah.
None of this is close.
Yeah.
It's not a close.
You know what people were telling me after this fight, because a lot of casual fans watched this fight. You know what people were telling me? They were saying, well, how does this guy have 42 wins with all those knockouts? You know what else? You know what someone said to me today? Someone said to me today, it looked like he wasn't even trying in there. And I said, well, that's just how he fights. I said, he waits for that one perfect punch.
Yeah.
And people just didn't understand. People were saying like it looked like a big brother beating up a little brother. They were saying that it looked like that Deontay Wilder didn't even belong in there with him. And for him to come out and make up all these excuses, it's like people are going to be reading this stuff, and it's just going to be it's horrible PR for him. He's got to
This is terrible.
Like someone's got to tell him like he can't be by saying stuff like this. It's just making him look bad.
Best excuse ever. Suit affected my leg. Wow. Metatruth and there was somebody else that said it too. And I think we just had it up on the screen. But Metatruth said he wore himself out in the dressing room. He was so nervous it was ridiculous.
He was pacing back and
no
forth.
excuses. He was dominated. And I said this before the fight. I said my dad and I were watching the fight, and I looked at my dad. I said he's wasting a lot of energy in there because he is pacing back and forth. And they split screen to Fury. Fury's in there dancing. He's in his dressing room having a good time, like it's a big party, And Wilder is just back and forth, man, just pacing like a lion. I said he's using too much. He's wasting a lot of energy, man. Because you could see he's hyped up.
And then he's lying in there with his girlfriend, or I think that's his girlfriend, because I don't think he's married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he's got his head nestled in her under her armpit and everything like that. And I'm like,
yeah,
dude,
he's cuddling with her. Yeah, he's cuddling with her on the couch.
This is primal time. This is not intimacy time. You're going to war. You need to be prepared for battle. You're not supposed to be relaxed and all comfy and cuddly with you can't be cupcaking like that in the dressing room. You can't be cupcaking like that. You got to be like amped up. You got to be ready to go.
Yeah. But to play devil's advocate there, different people prepare different ways. Like look at Tyson Fury a lot of time. Well, look at it's a big party in Tyson Fury's room. Yeah. Remember Alexis Arguello? When he used to get ready, he had a few people in his dressing room. That was it. It was just real quiet. And that's how some people like it. But, me and you were old school. So that's what, when we look at stuff like that, I kind of get, what is he doing,
Paris Fury was in Tyson Fury's locker room, but she stands in the corner. And she doesn't bother him unless he calls her over.
Yeah.
Like, if you're playing around, you're pumping yourself up basically with the guys. Like you're laughing and shit. Like, yeah, we're going to fucking war here, baby. Like,
yeah,
it's not like you're, oh honey, like that's that shit. Like, I don't know, man. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. After I'm cuddling with a girl, the last thing that crosses my mind
slugging somebody.
is going out and beating someone and punching someone in the face. I feel like after I'm cuddling with a girl, I want to go to sleep.
Yeah. Smarty Jones says flu, broken arm, broken hand, and now a 45-pound costume. Because didn't he say he had a cold or something like that?
I've been saying this like these last couple fights, there's always something wrong with him. Always something wrong.
And the thing is, like I said, man, I don't have any problem with you losing. I don't have any problem. Listen, but the way Anthony Joshua lost and he was dominated by Ruiz, got knocked out cold right in front of all those people, and got stopped.
He didn't make one excuse.
Said Andy Ruiz is the better man. We'll try to get a rematch or whatever, but he beat me fair and square. That's all he said. Props to him, And then I see this baby getting in there making all kinds of excuses. Nothing gets under my skin worse than when you lose and you try to make a billion excuses.
And then like before every fight, supposedly he has a cold.
Yeah.
Like everyone gets cold. Everyone gets sniffles. Like, I don't know. Do you call in sick when you have a cold?
No.
I go to work. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. And it'll be interesting to see what changes he makes. We know Mark Breland is 99.999% gone.
He's gone.
And you're going to blame him, and you're going to blame him for you losing. And again, that conspiracy theory about Mark Breland and Anthony Durrell and the triangle they make with Sugar Hill. Are you serious?
How insulting is that? How insulting is that to Mark Breland that you think that he would set you up like that?
How insulting is it to Anthony Durrell?
What type of,
you know what I'm saying? Really, like
what type of accusation is that to make? Oh, I love Mark Breland, but you're calling him a scumbag. Like, this guy makes no sense. Oh, I have no excuses tonight, but I had some complications in the ring. My leg.
And they give him litany of excuses.
And then at the end of the article that you were just reading quotes from, after making all those excuses, he goes, I just want to say that, Tyson Fury, I want to congratulate him. I'm so happy for him. He fought a beautiful fight, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but you just discredited his performance. he's contradicting himself in the same sentence by what he's saying.
It's awful.
He's making all those excuses up. And then at the end of the article, I just want to say Tyson Fury fought a beautiful fight. It was a great game plan, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Yeah,
he fought great, except for
my suit, except for my cold.
If it wasn't for all that, you know.
Except for my trainer.
Yeah.
Backstabbing me. It's like, come on.
This says it all right here. Brown gone one. I felt bad for Wilder, but now it's getting ridiculous with these excuses. You know what? I felt, like I said, man, I thought that, like I said, man, it was a good fight. I thought he did the best he could. I thought maybe he wasn't prepared for Fury, and Fury just jumped on him. Maybe he wasn't prepared for the game plan, and he'd never felt that before. But we always said Wilder had a ton of heart. He had a ton of courage and everything like that. But this is a character thing. I mean, it really is. This like reveals his character in a whole new light, man. It just does. I mean, I don't know, man. It just it's sad. It really is. It's sad to watch it. It's sad to like watch this guy that people looked up to. I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, look at the what is it? Who are the guys that ride with the PBC guys all the time? The guys that make videos. The what are they called? The 78. Who am I talking about?
Oh, the LDBC. The
LDBC. Okay, yeah. That's right. And they're like his biggest fans. I mean, they really are. They're like his biggest fans. And this is what they got. I mean, this is their champ now. I mean, come on, man. That was just classless, man.
Yeah.
Making all these excuses and everything like that. I mean, like, how could you, I don't know, how could you cheer for that guy again? You know what I mean? How could you come out and say, yeah, that's my guy. That's our champion. I mean, come on, man. Really? That's your champion?
It's horrible, man.
That's awful, man. Blaming his costume, has a conspiracy theory about his trainer. Come on, son. You're better than that. He's a lot better than that.
Now I'm hearing like the rematch is probably going to be in June.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You know what? I'll be honest. It doesn't matter.
How's it going to be in June? Like after he's going to need more rest than that, right?
Yeah.
Then Eddie Hearn was saying that we could still do the Joshua fight this year.
Well, Eddie Hearn said that he's going to pay, or Top Rank is with Pulev, and they'll give him step aside money, or they can get the fight to happen, but they can't now with the rematch clause.
Yeah, but
what did Bob Arum tell you? What did Bob Arum tell you is with regards to the rematch clause?
It's up to the loser can exercise it.
Oh, the loser can exercise. Okay.
Yeah. It's up to the loser if he wants.
That makes sense.
If he wants to exercise it, yeah. I think I misspoke before and said it was up to the winner, but it's the loser.
Okay. Brown Gone won on fire today in the chat. He said Wilder showed a lot of heart and fought like a warrior, which, hey, I agree with. But now he just threw out Fury's hard work out. He just threw Fury's hard work out the window.
But the world saw what Fury did, so it doesn't.
No, I agree, but he's right though. I mean, he's right though, because he doesn't give Fury his props. He just says, hey, all his hard work goes out the window,
Yeah.
And he's right. Smarty Jones saying you gas quicker when you panic. You absolutely gas quicker when you panic. Yeah. First thing they tell you, when you're when you're in jiu-jitsu, okay, and you're on the ground and, that you're in a bad position. You're going to get an arm taken. But the worst position, for anybody, especially if you're not familiar with it, is when somebody puts their hands around your throat. When somebody gets a forearm, puts it right around your throat, that's the worst position to be in, because then you start panicking. And then you learn as you go on, and the more you do it and everything like that, the more you learn, you have to relax in those situations. And that's what we didn't see, again, when in that, when you panic and you gas quicker, and Smarty Jones is right on the money there. He's 100% right. And we saw it. It almost looked like a panic in that dressing room prior to that fight. But during the fight, it was a definite panic. Because he's never been in that position before. And
then tell him what Wilder said about Kenny Bayless, about how before the fight, he gave him all these instructions. Well, if you hit behind the head, I'm going to disqualify you. If you do this, I'm going to disqualify you. And then he says, even though he took a point away from Fury, he said Fury was doing all those things that I was getting warned for before the fight started. He felt like Kenny Bayless was on Fury's side instead of his. It's like, are you serious?
Yeah, if anything, he was on your side. He took a point away from Fury.
And he wouldn't let Fury fight on the inside. He kept breaking you guys up early.
Yeah. I mean,
that was like the worst right there. Blaming Kenny Bayless.
Yeah, because Kenny Bayless, if anything, he was giving him breaks. He was giving him time. I mean, that he didn't need. You know what I mean? I thought Kenny Bayless interjected himself way too much in that fight.
Took a point away. It's ridiculous.
Took a point away, was giving him stoppage time, and it was just ridiculous. Not stoppage time per se, but breaking them when they really didn't need to be broken up. When they weren't, he was giving them, like I said, it just seemed like extra time, you know. And the one who needed the time was Wilder, not Fury.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I just don't see Pulev stepping aside. I'm not sure unless Bob convinces him to do so. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, listen, but listen, it's all a moot point now anyway. So they might as well go along with that fight. If they're both going to happen in June, then they can happen in September. Maybe it's September or October or November or whatever they do.
What Hearn was saying is, if they have the fight in June, we could still do a unification in December.
Right. Yeah, they can't do it now though. Because Wilder's not going to step aside.
Well, what Hearn was saying is even if Wilder takes the rematch in June, they could still do if Fury wins, they could still do a fight in December with Joshua. If Joshua fights in June and
yeah, but it wouldn't be for all the belts though.
Well, it depends if Pulev, like I'm saying, if Pulev and Joshua fight in June along with Fury and Wilder fight in June,
right?
Then the winners can fight in December. In other words, is what Hearn was trying to insinuate.
They can, but they won't be for all the belts though, because my guess is that somebody's going to have a mandatory in December.
Yeah,
after that June fight, somebody's going to have a mandatory.
You think the WBO will probably step in and
the WBO? Yeah, I mean the WBC will be fine, and once Pulev's out of the way, that'll be fine. But those belts are going to get fractured. That's why I said Tyson Fury, his best, he's sitting so pretty right now because again, he gets he'll get a big money rematch with Wilder. If not, he can go right to Joshua, make a ton of money. I mean, the sky's the limit for this guy now. He's in the best possible position.
Yeah.
But with Anthony Joshua, those belts are going to get fractured because what's his face? Isn't Usyk like a mandatory or approaching mandatory status for one of them?
Yeah.
So that's going to be it right there. I think that I don't know if Usyk beats Joshua. I don't know, but I don't. And that's why for Wilder, if he was smart, he would nix this, fight a tune-up fight like a get-back fight, and then he can fight for a piece of the fractured title.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't know if he passes up this fight. I don't know if he's ever going to get a title shot again.
No, I think he will. I absolutely think he will.
They could freeze him out.
Nah, I don't think so. No, I don't think so, man. Because that belt will it'll be fractured up, and then he'll get a piece of the belt. He'll get, look, the WBA's got 50 belts in the heavyweight division anyway. You know what I mean? He'll get a piece of one and become the mandatory or whatever. I mean, Boxing Freak 91 says fight Charles Martin. Yeah, right? Why not?
Yeah, but he's going to exercise the rematch clause.
Yeah, he will. He will. Smarty Jones says Wilder's team were wanting to cash out on him. It's possible. It's possible, man. Toby says 120 million flush just like that. I'm assuming he's talking about
the zone deal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. He is. He's talking about the zone deal. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I guess hindsight being 2020, man. But hey, look, man. I mean, he's how much is enough, man? He's got a lot of money as it is. He's going to make a ton of money off of this one,
and a ton of money in the rematch.
A ton of money in the rematch. Ton of money on this one. Yeah. Yeah, man, he'll be okay. He'll be all right. I don't think, he's making good money. I mean, he's making good money, put it that way. So the 120 million, maybe, maybe yes, maybe no. Who knows?
It's really hard to compare this fight to Anthony Joshua's fight with the first fight with Ruiz because you can make an argument that Joshua won a few rounds in that fight, and he actually knocked Ruiz down.
Yeah, you can. You can make an argument that it was a lot closer than this fight for sure.
Yeah, this fight seemed more of a beat down to me than that fight.
This was a one-sided beating. Yeah. You know what this reminded? This reminded me a lot of the Tyson Lewis fight too, where it was just a one-sided.
How Lewis beat up Tyson pretty
demolition.
bad.
Yeah, just a one-sided demolition on him. Yeah.
This is a shame.
Yeah.
This is really a shame.
RJ Barrett says Deontay Wilder has pride, so I respect him taking the third fight after a beating like that. But WTF are these excuses? Agreed. And I think everybody feels the same way. And I think that, that's the thing, man. Like, that makes you lose respect for somebody real quick when they start, the excuses and everything like that, It's just like, man, you say what you want about Anthony Joshua. Say whatever you want about Anthony Joshua, but he took that loss like a man, and he took it like somebody should take it. He took it like a true athlete should have taken a loss. They were the better people. He was the better guy out there. He won. End of story. End of story. Was there stuff wrong with him? Maybe, maybe not. We'll never know. You'll never know.
No, never know.
Never know.
We'll never know.
So
all we know right now is the suit was bothering him.
The suit, the cat suit that he wore out there, the Black Panther suit, the 40-pound, that big 40-pound suit, that really weakened your legs, man. That 40-pound suit really weakened your legs, right? You don't squat in the gym, huh? You don't do squats. You're lifting your body weight when you squat. You're lifting more than 40 pounds.
Jump rope too.
Jump rope, yeah.
Lifting your body weight up.
If that 40-pound, I tell you what, I got to question his training. If that 40-pound suit bothered him, was too heavy for him and hurt his legs by the time he got to the ring, yeah, I got to question your training then, man.
Well, let me ask you this: didn't you try the suit on before you walked out to the ring? Like, was that the first time you ever put the suit on? You knew that.
No, let me see here. What did it say about that? Let me go back to the.
You must have wore the suit before, see if it fit and shit, right?
Yeah, he was able to. It says here, I was only able to put it on for the first time the night before, but I didn't think it was going to be that heavy. It weighed like 40 some odd pounds. All right, well, if it was too heavy for you, then why'd you wear it?
Oh, I just wanted to make sure wanted to wear it for my fans or for Black History Month, whatever. That was. So that's more important than winning the fight?
Right, you could have won the fight for Black History Month. That would have been more important. Winning the fight is more important. Winning the fight trumps everything.
Was that suit worth you losing the fight?
Right.
If that's the case.
Rue 504 says, just come out in a robe like the old school days. Yeah, absolutely. Darnell Lee says, Wilder disappointed me with his BS excuse. He needs to give Fury his credit and go back to the drawing board. 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Smarty Jones says he spent $40,000 on that costume.
Smart as that.
Why would you're going to wear for literally, 2 minutes?
Yeah.
2 minutes. That's all you're wearing it for.
How fucking smart is that?
Right. Listen, I'm not a financial guy, but that doesn't sound like a good deal to me, man. I don't know. I could be wrong, Beeb. I could be wrong. Do you see anybody defending Wilder with these excuses? Do you think we're going to see some clickbait on YouTube?
I don't know, man.
Wow.
I have a feeling some of these LDBC guys are going to come up with some excuses.
Nah. You know what, man? 78, I watched his show the night that it happened or whatever. He came out and he says, you know what, Tyson Fury fought a great fight and this and that. He gave Tyson Fury all the credit in the world. Yeah, I was watching Fannin, the other one, and he did the same thing. Gave him credit. Came up with some excuses afterward, but he gave him credit, man.
Well, this Blue Blood Sports kid is ridiculous. He's making videos today saying, oh, well, Deontay Wilder would still beat Anthony Joshua, blah, blah, blah. It's like,
maybe he would. Listen, but he can't beat Tyson Fury. That's been established.
Well, my whole point is, what does that matter if he can't beat Tyson Fury?
Yeah. can't beat the guy now.
I mean, you got a rematch clause. If you can't get past him, then you can have 2 losses in a row. You're not going to be able to fight Anthony Joshua anyway. So what difference does it make?
Yeah. All right. So let me ask you this. So I saw you going back and forth with a guy on the chat, not the chat, but the comment section.
What, Twitter or here?
No, on YouTube in the comment section. Yeah. And he said something about AJ. I guess he said, and you were also going back and forth with Rafael about AJ and stuff.
Talk about yesterday's show, right?
Yeah, and you said that Tyson Fury is the man in the division. Period.
That's my opinion.
That's my opinion too. He is the man.
That's just about everyone else's opinion out there too.
100%. Because I believe Anthony Joshua would lose to Tyson Fury. Yeah, might be a good fight, but I think he loses that fight.
I mean, Anthony Joshua's a good fight. Don't get me wrong. I just think that his punch resistance is starting to dissipate. That's just my opinion. He just looks like he can't. He's not taking these shots very well anymore. Like I just see him. That's a problem. He gets hit with a lot of right hands, and if Fury decides to unload that right hand like he did on Wilder against Anthony Joshua, he probably could stop Joshua too.
Well, I guess my question is, we know that Tyson Fury is the man.
Yeah.
All right, he's the main guy now.
Yeah.
But my question is, who's the A side?
Versus Fury?
Yeah. Joshua or Fury?
The thing about Joshua is he's just such an economic powerhouse. We're gonna have to see how many pay-per-view buys this fight does, because I think after this performance, it could be close.
It could be closer.
It could be very close.
He's just like you said, economic powerhouse is a great way to put it.
I think you'd still have to edge it to drop. Well, what about United States though? Because Fury's starting to really make some headway in the United States too. In the UK, Joshua's the man. I mean, they love him.
And 100% that fight takes place in the UK.
They love
because
him
that fight doesn't make any sense in America. It just doesn't. As much as I would like to see it here, it makes 0 sense in America.
I didn't say AJ was stopping Wilder. What the fuck are you talking about? I said Fury would stop AJ.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I think he just misinterpreted it.
Yeah, I said Fury would probably stop Joshua. I said I don't really know if Wilder would beat Joshua right now. I don't know, but I know Fury would, and I think he would possibly stop him too, like he stopped Wilder. What are you talking about? When did I say that Joshua would knock out Wilder?
No, I think he just misunderstood.
Well, pay attention, buddy.
Oh, stop it. What's the matter with you? Getting on the chat. What's the matter with you?
Pay attention.
I never got on anybody in the chat. Except for maybe earlier. I don't know. The Earthquake says Fury is without a doubt bigger in the U.S., I'm assuming, than AJ. He is, but it still doesn't. Yeah. I believe that the A side, like you said, man, the A side has to go to Joshua. Number one, he's got 3 belts, and that matters. Number 2, he's just.
I don't think the fans really give a shit about the belts.
You know what? I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. If we put those two, if there's no belts on the line, Canelo's a different animal. Son. Floyd's a different animal.
De La Hoya.
Different animals. All Madison Avenue guys.
I think.
You know what I mean? All Madison Avenue guys.
Look what Fury was doing without this belt. Look how popular he was becoming over here. Without this belt. Without this belt, look how many people came here to see this fight. Fury without having this belt. This guy's a character, man. I don't think the belts matter. Joshua didn't have the belts either, and he was just he made more in his rematch as the challenger with Ruiz than he did when he was a champion. So I mean, I honestly don't think the belts at this point the belts don't really matter. These guys are popular enough with or without the belts. I think they've reached that level, in my opinion.
RJ Barrett says the lineal championship is the most important championship.
In order to do great numbers, you have to have crossover appeal. Do you think the fans really? Do you think all the people that bought that pay-per-view really cared about what the belts. They cared about the fight on Saturday. They didn't care about the belt.
Yeah, I see your point. I see your point.
I mean, that's just my opinion. I just maybe hardcore people like the gentleman in the chat mentioned care about belts. I don't care about belts. I really don't.
King Nello is asking any news on the pay-per-view sales. None yet. I expect it to come out Tuesday or Wednesday. That's typically when they come out.
But the thing is you have all these digital platforms too, so you have a lot of outlets to count.
I don't understand. Shouldn't it be easier to count with digital platforms? I would think it would be much easier to count.
You could be right. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, because I don't work for the
I'm not
pay-per-view
saying it's
office.
hard. I'm not saying it's hard to count. What I'm saying is you have so many different things to count. In other words, so you have to go here, and they're not all going to be tabulated at the same time.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Jason said that Wilder is using the Manny excuse, making the blueprints.
What about isms again?
What about my shoulders
again?
hurt. My shoulders hurt.
What about isms again?
I don't know, man. I would take shoulders hurt because he had shoulder surgery or whatever. But the costume too heavy, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. Low Blow Champ said at least $1 million, I'm sure. I'll be real interested. Darnell Lee says, I guess this is Glazer. Is it Rich Glazer?
Rick Glazer.
Rick Glazer has 300,000.
Anyone that actually puts any stock in him, I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, wasn't it like he had a bunch of misinformation or something like that, or I don't know.
Manny said Saltwater Hill to shoulder.
Okay. That's an excuse too. Hey, that's an excuse too, man.
And you believed him. What about when this guy did it? Bob Arum told Boxing Voice that he would never take advice from Glazer. Glazer got fired by Don King. He used to work for Don King. Got fired.
How do you get fired from Don King?
I don't know. Didn't like him.
Jeez.
Probably sucked.
Insane.
What about his I got him triggered right now.
Yeah, he does.
This excuse was the worst excuse I've ever heard in my life.
Ever.
Okay?
Ever.
It's the worst excuse I've ever heard in my life.
And the conspiracy theory about Mark Breland and Anthony Durrell and Sugar Hill.
That's just wrong. That's just wrong.
Wow.
That is just wrong.
Where's that here? So is it? Yeah, Rue 504 says so. Wilder's going to go on InfoWars with Alex Jones.
Breland's a clown, says Jason.
Right. Okay, son.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Breland. Yeah, sure. Breland's punch drunk. No, he speaks very softly. He always spoke softly. When he was a fighter, he spoke softly too. He doesn't have a loud voice.
I don't think Breland got hit enough to get punch drunk.
Yeah, Breland was a 110 and won as an amateur. He's a gold medalist and he's a 2-time welterweight world champion.
Barry Hearn is saying, what did they say about Durrell? In case you missed it, Deontay Wilder is saying that Anthony Durrell was right behind Mark Breland, telling him to stop the fight. We care about the champ, stop the fight. Tao went in. Well, anyway, he's saying that Anthony Durrell trains with Sugar Hill, so there was some kind of conspiracy going on there, and they got Breland to throw in the towel because of Sugar Hill. It's the most convoluted, dumb excuse I've ever heard. Wood says Breland is a fall guy. Breland is 100% the fall guy. Not the fact. I mean, listen, what did we say before the fight? When we were breaking this fight down, Beeb, there was no scenario that Wilder was going to outbox this guy. No. There was no scenario, all right, where there was a plan B. If Wilder doesn't knock this guy out like he has 40 other times or 41 other times, he doesn't win this fight because that is his game plan going into every single fight is to land the right hand. That's it.
I honestly thought that Fury could stop him, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't think he would. I'm gonna be 100% real. I didn't think he would.
Yeah, I didn't think he would either. I thought it was going to be like I thought it could be a clinic,
But I knew we would.
We don't know.
I knew we would rough him up and hit him with body shots on the inside. I knew that. I did say that. I knew that was definitely coming. I knew this wasn't going to be a finesse type fight. I knew it wasn't going to be that type of fight.
Yeah.
I knew it.
I mean, Jason says without JD's, Wilder would not be a boxer.
You asked
so
me,
what?
You asked a question earlier. Is anyone going to defend this? Of course.
Well, apparently I was wrong.
Of course.
Any legitimate source, you know what I mean?
Of course he's going to defend it because.
Right. Because he's a moron.
What do you think of that? What do you think of the suit excuse, Jason? Are you down with that too?
Yeah, he's down with it.
Yeah.
He's down with it. He was washing Deontay's car this morning.
Breland put something in Wilder's water. Yeah.
Throd Lytle says, "Who do you guys think should train Wilder now?" I'll be real honest with you. Doesn't matter.
JD's is going to just be the head trainer, and
it would not shock me.
That's what's going to happen.
It wouldn't shock me. I'll be honest. Floyd Sr., listen, they could bring anybody. They could bring Angelo Dundee or Manny Stewart back. He ain't getting helped, son.
Yeah.
You can't fight 42 fights, 42, 43 fights, be 34 years old, and then switch it up.
Let me ask you
He is who he is.
Who told him to put that suit on in the first place? It was his decision to wear it, right? So he's got to take responsibility for that, no?
It's just a dumb reason.
It's just,
really is just stupid, man.
It's just ridiculous. It's just sad. It's really sad.
Yeah, which says Wilder's that's what it is. His outfit was too heavy. The suit is Wilder's fault. 100%. 100%. Wilder, Low Blow Champ said Wilder can learn some things like how to pivot. No, he can't. Listen, he can learn all he wants.
He's not going to do it in the fight.
Once he gets hit, he's going to revert back to the same Wilder. That's just the way it is. Once he gets uncomfortable in there, he will revert back to the same Wilder. You know how long it takes you? You know how long it takes you? And, babe, like when you first learned to box, how long it would take you, like if you got into a scuffle outside of the ring or something like that, how long it would take you to actually use that in a real situation to defend yourself?
Yeah.
It's not like you just go to class and then the next day I'm doing this. It takes years. It takes a long, long time to be that comfortable with something, to use it over, you know what I mean? It's not something you just do overnight. Just because you go and take a karate class does not mean that you can, go out there and start throwing kicks in a street fight. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. And for Wilder to make statements like, well, and also in that article, he said, well, I said before that I want a body on my record. And, he said, like, if I'm willing to, be able to do that, then I should be willing to be able to take that too. So he's saying that he would rather die in the ring, whatever, and stuff like that. Yeah, but okay. But you have kids. Now, if you die, what happens to your kids? What happens to that beautiful woman, beautiful girlfriend that you have? What happens to all these people? That's a very selfish way of looking at things, in my opinion.
Look, he's supposed to think like that. That's the bottom line. He's supposed to think like that. That's the way he is supposed to think. That's the way he's been programmed to think.
Do you remember the 24/7 there, or the face-off that Cotto and Margarito had for their second fight? And Max Kellerman looked over to Miguel Cotto, and he looked over at Arturo Margarito, and he goes, this man's willing to die in the ring. And he asked Miguel Cotto, are you willing to die in the ring? And he said, no. Because I have a wife, I have kids. He said, they need me. So why would I want to die in the ring? So
Margarito, what if Margarito said, yeah, I'm willing to die in the ring.
I'm willing to die in the ring.
Some guys have that, some guys have it. And a lot of guys have that. A lot of guys will, hey, I want to get knocked out. I want to, I don't want to end this. If I'm going to lose, then I want to go out on my shield. I get that. I get you. The problem is your corner shouldn't think like that. Your corner is there to protect you. The ref is there to protect you, and your corner is there to protect you. So by JD's not throwing that towel, JD's, like I said, should not be a trainer. He should not be a trainer at all.
And then this, and then JD's like, well, I'm gonna have to go talk to Mark. Well, you should have talked to Mark first before you threw him under the fucking bus. Don't you think that would have been more professional?
Yeah.
It's just the way the whole thing.
Jason.
This something that was supposed to be a beautiful night.
Yeah.
We say this all the time. How many times do we have a great fight and then like Sunday rolls around, then Monday rolls around, and then all the bullshit comes out and just starts to take away from
takes away from his win. It takes away from Fury's win.
Takes away from the great event that we just witnessed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jason just said, he just made $20 million. His wife and kids are fine. Let me tell you what, if you ask his wife and kids, would they rather have $20 million or would they rather have him? What do you think they're going to say? You know what I mean? I mean, come on, don't make stupid statements like that. That's a dumb statement to say.
Well, he's just trolling.
That's a kid statement to say.
I don't think he means it. He's trolling.
I think he probably does. I don't know that he is trolling. That's the crazy thing about him. I think he's really genuinely dumb.
He's trying to.
I think so, man. I think he's just plumb dumb. You know what I mean? It just is what it is.
Wow, that's some strong shit from Wood right there, but it's true.
Here, let me pull it up here. About the Breland. Breland getting fired for saving another black man on Black History Month, and a white man was going to let him die. He's right, man.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Everyone like throws Teddy Atlas's name around when these situations arise. It's like Teddy Atlas ain't gonna step in there and deal with this, man. He ain't gonna be able to teach Deontay Wilder how to box after 35 years of him fighting this way. He ain't gonna take Andrew Ruiz under his wing and follow him around and make sure he doesn't stuff his face and get up to 300 pounds again. He's not.
Right.
He's not gonna put up with that shit.
Like I said, hey Jason, like I said earlier in the show, everybody's a hero on chat. Everybody can talk trash on chat. Come say it to me, son. Yeah, Grievous has said Wilder's too long in the tooth to learn a new style. He's right. He's right. You know what he's like? He's like Jermaine. You remember Jermaine Taylor?
And he's too hard
when he went to Kronk.
Yeah, he's too hard headed too.
He's too hard headed. You know why? And you know what? It's hard to blame him because he knocked out 40 some guys. He's got power. He's got skills. I don't care. Listen, you can knock out 40 cab drivers. That's still impressive.
I had people asking me, "Is like, how's this guy 42-1?" Like my brother was like, "How's this guy 42-0-1?"
Right.
How does he have all these knockouts? He just walks around the ring like this with his right hand like this, cocked, but he doesn't throw it. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna disrespect the guy, but there's no way you can compare his skills to Fury's skills. He's just not on that.
No.
Fury's like 15 levels above all these guys, man. Fury's like friggin' playing chess. These guys are playing checkers, man.
Is Brown gone? Brown gone has been like on fire today, man. Didn't Breland leave Wilder's camp once already because he wouldn't listen? I don't know. I don't know. I'll be honest, I have no idea. What?
This chat's hilarious, man.
These guys are insane tonight, man.
Jason got a lot of fans though, man. Like you see people like fucking like when he calls and shit. I don't know why, but they do.
Because he's stupid when he calls. Everyone likes hearing the dumb one,
Yeah, what makes a good point? Like you're never really gonna correct all of his weaknesses, but you can enhance his strengths.
Yeah, he said Wood basically said I'll pull it up here. Wilder don't need to learn a new style. He needs just help getting off his offense. He's right.
Yeah.
Because he needs he was throwing like one shot and that was it the other night. That was it, just one shot. And by and large, he's not throwing in combinations. I mean,
nah.
I don't know, when you again, but he's able to land. You know what I mean? He's always able to land it.
But you ain't gonna be
but
able
that's
to.
The thing.
You ain't gonna be able to beat Fury with a basic 1-2. You gotta bring more than that.
Chandler M said Wilder needs to work on footwork. Yeah, I mean he needs all the basics. I mean, and we said it before. We said it during the breakdown, man. I told you. I said he's got one way to win this fight. That's it. He's got one way, and if that way doesn't work, he loses. There is no plan B.
Jason's funny, man. Like
Jason's a moron, son.
He's like, open the phones. He's hilarious.
All right, guys. I think we're going to call it, man. I think we're going to call it here. No phones tonight. No phones tonight. It was actually supposed to be a quick show here. We went about an hour here.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Beeb? It's a school night,
I don't know,
Beeb.
man.
What are we doing? It's Monday.
I gotta take my melatonin soon.
You take that too?
Yeah. I took my Relora already. That's why I'm yawning. My Relora is like an herb that relaxes you and stuff.
Yeah.
I do it in stage to take my Relora. Then a couple hours later, I take my melatonin.
What is Relorin? What is that?
It's like a herb that it's like it has like a calming effect on you.
Okay.
It's like a sedative effect. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
You ever hear of L-theanine too?
No.
That's an amino acid that relaxes you. I take that like a ZMA with L-theanine.
Yeah.
I got a whole cocktail of sleeping agents.
It's a cocktail. Do you take? Is the melatonin? How do you take the melatonin? Is it like
it's actually in a supplement. It's melatonin, L-theanine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got like a couple other extracts in it too. Yeah.
I take melatonin gummies. We buy them for my son. And I'll
do?
take a couple before I go to bed.
They work, don't they?
They do, man. They do. It's insane.
I don't take the gummies, but I used to give Brianna the gummies. She used to like the gummies.
Love the gummies.
Yeah. It was so funny. We would give Brianna a gummy, and like in 2 minutes she'd be like,
she's out. It's
that
out
shit
cold.
it knocked her out. Like, oh my god, it's crazy. It knocked her out.
Oh man.
Good
All right, guys. We're going to get out of here, man. Hey, catch us on Twitter at JHabib1 and catch me at Ringside73. Catch our YouTube channel. Oh, thank you so much. Let's see here. Loki07. Thank you so much. He said they should build up his confidence, speaking of Wilder, with 2 more fights while Fury fights AJ and then save a 3rd fight for Fury's last ESPN fight. That's a great idea. I don't think it comes along. I don't think it comes off, but I like that. I said last night, I said during our show last night, I think he needs 1 or 2 confidence builder fights. You know?
Yeah.
So.
That ain't going to happen, though.
No, I don't think so either. So, what do you
These people in the chat are killing me, man.
They're going crazy, man.
They're fucking battling each other in there. They're fucking banging it out in the chat.
Yeah. Jason, who's never thrown a punch in anger in his life or thrown a punch in the ring in his life, has said that Breland is a fake water boy. Yeah, okay. Yeah, just former Olympian, no big deal, you know. Yeah, no big deal.
Part of arguably one of the greatest Olympic teams of all time. That was 1976 and the 84 were the 2 best Olympic teams of all time.
84. And, you know, but the 84, I guess the 84 Olympics or whatever, Cuba wasn't in there. And Russia wasn't in there either, were they? Or maybe maybe they were.
I know Cuba wasn't in there.
Cuba was definitely not in there. Russia may have been in there. I don't know.
The 76, there was Howard Davis Jr.,
Sugar Ray, the Spinks
brothers, and
Howard Davis.
Yeah, Howard Davis Jr.
Yeah, Howard Davis was in there. Yeah.
Oh, Howard Davis. I'm sorry. His son's Howard Davis Jr.
Yeah. He was the one that lost to Aaron Pryor. Aaron Pryor would have been in there, but he lost to Howard Davis.
Yeah.
But he was an alternate over there.
Yeah.
So.
How many fighters was Breland trained? Deontay Wilder.
Deontay Wilder. How many you need? How many chances Breland created? Deontay Wilder. He took him from scratch.
Man, heavyweight champion of the world. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I mean, how many trainers have done that, though? I mean, think about that. How many trainers have taken him from the bottom to the top? How many trainers have taken somebody from the bottom to the top?
How many chances Breland created? Deontay Wilder. 1.
Deontay Wilder. Who's created somebody from top to bottom? Has made 20 chances. So he's created them from top to bottom. He's been with them their entire career.
And then Wilder made a statement, like he was making fun of Fury for changing up his team. And he said, oh, my team's been with me forever, blah, 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 blah. Well, not anymore.
How's it looking now? How's it looking now? You know? I don't know, man. All right, guys, we're going to get running, man. Thank you guys so much for coming out on a Monday. How about that? And if any news breaks this week, we'll probably break in the coverage and do a show or whatever. But if not, we'll catch you definitely on Sunday. We're going to review the Mikey Garcia fight.
Yeah.
And have lots of news already. Lots of news sprouting up this week. So
yeah, lot of stuff
already, man. So stay tuned, guys, and we will see you soon.
Have a good one, guys.